Like Baba Yaga. Baba Yaga, the witch. They tell stories to children.
Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most fascinating magical women from the worlds of myth. We'll be excluding characters created for specific literature, so the weird sisters from William Shakespeare's Macbeth will be saved for another day.
Macbeth, hail to thee, Thane of Glamis.
Macbeth, hail to thee, Thane of Cawdor.
All hail Macbeth that shall be king hereafter.
Number 10. Louhi. Hailing from Finnish mythology, Louhi is a classically wicked witch, the queen of an otherworldly northern realm known as Pohjola. Along with casting enchantments, she's also able to shapeshift. Louhi is a principal villain of the Kalevala, a compilation of Finnish folklore, battling the hero Väinämöinen for control of the Sampo, a mystical device that's said to grant untold riches.
In the epic Finnish poem, the Kalevala, Louhi is the antagonist of the heroes Väinämöinen, Ilmarinen, and Lemminkainen.
She may actually be one and the same as Loviatar, a goddess of death and disease.
The major difference then between Louhi and Loviatar is that Loviatar's name only occurs in spells associated with diseases, while Louhi's name also occurs in epic or narrative songs.
The witch has infiltrated various other mediums, from the music of heavy metal band Amorphis to video games such as the Final Fantasy franchise. Number 9. The Bell Witch.
This week, we pay a visit to a small town in Tennessee, which was plagued by a spirit so vengeful that it was the first in US history to receive blame for an actual recorded death.
The legend of the Bell Witch has persisted for 2 centuries, since it first emerged in the early 1800s.
Back in Tennessee, I saw a banner haunted by an entity.
The story recounts an alleged haunting that tormented the Bell family while they were living in rural Tennessee. The Bell Witch, also known as Old Kate Batts's witch, was a malevolent being that behaved similarly to a poltergeist, even physically attacking the family in their home. A mysterious girl dressed in green was reportedly seen on the property, as were strange animals that appeared and disappeared. The patriarch of the Bell family, a farmer named John, was supposedly fatally poisoned by the witch. She was even said to have disturbed mourners by breaking out into drinking songs.
As the mourners prepare to leave the funeral, a voice suddenly breaks the silence. It's the witch, laughing and singing, her long-stated goal of killing John Bell finally accomplished. After John's death, the witch disappears, but not before telling the family that she will be back in 7 years.
Number 8. Grimhild.
Darling, you have no idea what's possible.
This infamous Norse witch is one of the villains of the Germanic Völsunga saga. Grimhild, or Grimhildr as she's sometimes known, appears in several other sagas, where she is also portrayed as alluring, but duplicitous and evil. In the Völsunga saga, she is a queen who uses a magic potion to make the hero Sigurd forget he married his wife Brynhildr. Her aim is to have both marry her own children. In another saga, Grimhild is a queen who poisons her husband and curses her stepdaughter and step-granddaughter.
The tears in his eyes.
In most depictions, she receives a fatal comeuppance in the form of fire or stoning. Number 7. Jenny Greenteeth. There are many examples of folktales designed to keep children away from deep and dangerous bodies of water. Jenny Greenteeth was one such creature, a hideous river hag who preyed on children and the elderly, whisking them away beneath the waves.
Who be this tender morsel?
Her name comes from Grindylow, a supernatural creature popular in the folklore of Lancashire, England.
Sensible children. I have no power over them.
The waterlogged witch served as the visual inspiration for the infamous Meg Mucklebones in Ridley Scott's film Legend. With her green skin, sharp teeth, and long dripping wet hair, she made for a frightful sight, one destined to haunt nightmares.
Don't stray too close to the water's edge. You never know. Ginny might be there, waiting for her next victim.
Number 6. Keddwen. There's a lot of overlap in mythology between magic users and deities, with some figures doubling as both depending on the story.
Keddwen is also one of those deities that are usually patron goddesses of the witches.
Keddwen is known from her origins in Welsh mythology as an enchantress, although more modern interpretations have expanded her legacy to incorporate patronage of poetry and the arts. Legend has it that Keddwen had an ugly son, whom she sought to make wise with a potion. But servant boy Gwion Bach, who stirred her cauldron, accidentally drank the crucial first drops. As she pursued him, both changed in various forms, until she ultimately ate him, then became pregnant and gave birth to him in the form of the bard Taliesin.
You are nameless!
Number 5. Medea. Granddaughter of Helios, princess of Colchis, powerful sorceress, and somewhere in the gray area between girl boss and supervillain, this enchantress from Greek myth was the granddaughter of the sun god Helios and a priestess of the goddess Hecate. She features most prominently in the myth of Jason and his search for the Golden Fleece.
竜の葉をよりしろとした使い魔はコルキス王の魔術と聞く。その娘、王女メディアは希代の魔女と謳われたそうだが。
The sorceress assists the captain of the Argo in his quest, and even marries Jason after his adventures. The union ends in tragedy, however, when Jason seeks another bride, and Medea is exiled. She kills her own sons, as well as Jason's new wife, forever severing her ties with the disloyal hero.
Medea, princess of Colchis and priestess of the witch goddess Hecate, had fallen in love with the challenger. She intended to protect her beloved from her father's tricks at any cost.
Number 4. The Befana.
I must tell you that I, La Befana, have been bringing the gifts down the chimneys of the Bambini long before old Saint Nick was even a twinkle in his mama's eye. Huh?
One of the great things about holiday traditions is how they differ throughout the world. After all, one might not immediately associate a witch with Yuletide gift-giving, but that is exactly the point behind Italy's La Befana. This old witch takes a position similar to that of Santa Claus, delivering presents to good little children and lumps of coal for those who've been naughty.
Ah, see, it is a coal. What's the matter? You don't remember the time I brought you coal when you was little?
The Befana is further associated with the Christian tale of Jesus Christ in her association with the three Magi. The legend asserts that the Befana actually housed and fed the Magi while they were en route to the birth site. As a result, her yearly visits are said to symbolize the Befana's endless search for the infant Christ. Number 3. Circe.
Circe! Be careful, she's…
Yeah, I've read the Odyssey.
Some mythical figures straddle the line between enchantress and goddess, and Circe is a perfect example. The daughter of the sun god Helios and water nymph Perse, Circe is a powerful enchantress and minor deity who had a habit of transforming her enemies into animals or even monsters.
Turned into a pig! You really get none of your games, huh? It is the truth, I swear it! This is the island of a witch, a sorceress!
Travelers know to fear her, thanks to her role in Homer's famed epic The Odyssey, where she turned most of Odysseus' crew into pigs. She's also a goddess closely associated with herbalism and potions, to the point where her transformation of men into animals was sometimes seen as a metaphor for drunkenness.
Circe had turned all the visitors into pigs, and with her staff, she led them into the pigsty.
Number 2. Morgan Le Fay.
The king is nowhere to be found.
I want him dead!
We've looked.
Merlin isn't the only magician in Arthurian legend, not by a long shot. There's reason to believe that Morgan Le Fay originated in Welsh folklore before appearing on the pages of Arthurian romance. She's often portrayed as Merlin's apprentice and King Arthur's sister, with a shifting moral compass.
Don't you know me, Lord Merlin? Morgana of Cornwall.
You have your father's eye.
In some stories, she's a benevolent healer, while in many others, she's fascinated with dark magic and works against Arthur's rule in Camelot. These latter depictions have cemented her as an unpredictable and chaotic sorceress, whose ambition and subterfuge make her a formidable antagonist.
Youth is so wasted on the young.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Baba Yaga.
Don't you look lovely?
There's a historical duality in how this witch from Slavic mythology has been portrayed. There's no middle ground. Baba Yaga is either a villain who kidnaps children for supper, or a humorous satirization of Peter the Great's wife Catherine I. Fantasy and fiction have largely favored the former, focusing upon Baba Yaga's infamous domicile deep in the forest, a hut that stands on chicken legs. In some stories, she flies around on a broom, but in others, her preferred vehicle is a mortar. Occasionally, she's described in triplicate, as a trio of sisters.
We called him Baba Yaga. The boogeyman? Well, John wasn't exactly the boogeyman.
Any way you slice it, Baba Yaga is one of the standout witch figures from the fascinating world of myth.
The woods? What do you mean, the woods?
The Muir Woods, Second Fire Road off the Panoramic Highway.
For God's sake.
What's your favorite cinematic representation of a witch? Let us know in the comments.
You're all pigs!
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.